Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's Daily Recap is for Wednesday, May the 22nd, 2024. Wednesday, May the 22nd. Okay, I'm feeling better. I am. I'm feeling better, y'all. So, I'll be able to talk a little bit longer and get to some comment corner too. Now, we had a sad, touching scene. Of course, Finn is walking around with his alcohol in his glass. And, someone mentioned in comment corners, I may not have been covering them, but I've been reading comment corners that Finn's addiction was pills, prescription um, drugs. But I think and I don't know, I think with alcoholics or with addiction, that him drinking, even though he's not an alcoholic like Alexis, can lead to him giving in to his pill addiction. I kind of think that's how that works. Somebody comment corner, you can address that. But anyway, Violet is a very good little actress. She did that so well. I mean, her facial expressions, the emotions, she brought it. Because understand, this little girl is acting. She had to memorize her lines, right? She did a great job. She even went into Gregory's room, not believing he was gone, and that was touching too. So Elizabeth shows up at the door. Chase had called her. And as soon as the Violet opens the door, Elizabeth drops her purse and just hugs her. And Violet says, Daddy needs a hug too. He's sad too. So Elizabeth stands up, puts her purse on the little desk, and she hugs Finn, and he's hugging her. And when she opens her eyes, she sees a glass of alcohol behind him on the little credenza or desk or whatever it was, and coffee table, whatever it was. And so she kind of lets go and she, swings around in Violet's direction, but she sees the bottle on the desk and she's, says something to Violet, or Violet says something to her, and she hugs her again. You know what? We forget sometimes, everybody. Elizabeth is Violet's aunt, right? That's Aunt Elizabeth. So she says, you know what? Aiden could really use one of your beautiful friendship bracelets. Can you just go make him one real quick? And she goes, okay. And when Violet leaves the room, Elizabeth says, I see you've been drinking. And immediately, the defense, I'm allowed to with what I'm going through. And she said, he goes, one drink with everything I've been going through, like who could blame me? And she goes, okay. She says, I cannot blame you, nor am I judging you, Finn. You are allowed to handle or try to handle your grief any way you see fit. But I'm going to take Violet home with me tonight. And Finn looked at her and he says, no, you're not. You are not. And she goes, I'm going to take her home with me tonight, and you need to go find yourself an AA meeting to help like get you straight. And he goes, I don't need to get straight. And you are not taking my daughter. And that's Elizabeth. Woo, this woman, she channeled her inner epiphany. Okay. She looked at him. She said, you can drown yourself in alcohol. You can do it. That's your choice. But what I will not do is leave that little girl. I'm surprised she didn't say my niece in the house with you in a drunken condition. That's not going to happen. And he just looked at her because she's like, Oh no, that ain't going down on my watch. Look, I might have flipped out and been crazy 2 years ago doing all kinds of things, and my boys were around, but Violet is younger. Okay. And you should have had enough backbone, Finn, to be with me during that. But anyway, so we're going to see how the argument ends tomorrow, but I can already tell you how the argument's going to end tomorrow. Elizabeth is going to win that argument because ultimately Finn wants to go down that spiral path. So he's going to let her take Violet. I already know that. So now we get to finish Sunny and Dante's conversation. And Sunny is just back to, oh, so you won't even try to make Kristina understand it's not what she thought, what she saw is not, that's not what happened. That's not, it didn't go down that way, or that's not what it really happened. And he goes, she saw what happened. She saw it. So how can I tell her that's not what happened? She saw it, and according to you, she heard you. He says, he goes, you know what? I'm done. He goes, that Dex, he's a traitor. He grabbed me. Like I said, he had it coming. And Sonny's, bruised up knuckles. And he goes, I let it go on. I should have took care of it, when I found out he was a traitor. And he goes, and what does taking care of it mean? He says, now remember, you're talking to a cop, Sonny. Remember that. What should you have done? He goes, see, your choices. And this, I let you get away. I've looked the other way too many times. He says, no more. He says, you and I both know firsthand what your answer to situations were. And Dante was kind of referring to when Sonny shot him, right? And he didn't turn his father in. He says, so now I'm going to tell you right now, it's done. Oh, so my own son. So you're with the other traitors. I can't count on you. He goes, look, he says, I'm not a traitor, but what you're doing is wrong. He goes, I don't even recognize you. He goes, and the blatant things you're doing now, you used to know better. He said, so no. He goes, so just go ahead and I'm done with this whole thing. So Sonny turns and he goes, of course you are. Of course you are. So Sonny goes home and Ava's there. Sonny, you got up so early. Avery, she didn't even get to say hi or to you at all, or goodbye before she went off to school. Are you okay, Sonny? And she sees his hand. What happened? And Sonny is spinning, and Dante's now a traitor, and he's spinning the whole lot, just completely lying about what happened with Dex. And he goes, Dex was there, and he was sucking up to my family. She goes, what business did Dex have being there? He had no place there. This is the chick that killed their family member that wanted to go there. Had the nerve to say Dex had no business being there. He was out of line. I know, and just feeding Sonny. And Sonny is saying this, that, and the other, and telling her what he did what he did. And now Dante don't even want to, protect. But what he feels the worst about is Kristina saw it. And now Kristina, I've lost her for good. She was the only person that still loved me. And Ava's just looking at him. See, they didn't finish their conversation, but she's just looking at him. Now she's getting ready to weave something. She's probably going to put a drink in his hand. We'll see tomorrow what happens between Ava and Sonny. So now, Chase and Brooklyn, of course, miss their flight, for their honeymoon. So they go back to the Quartermain's house, he wanted to initially go to Finn's, but Finn told him no, he needed time to tell Violet. So just please give him some time so he could really make sure Violet's okay before anybody. So they went to the Quartermains first. Lois and Ned were in the living room / study living room area. And of course, Lois comes out. Monica said it's okay. He could stay. Okay, they never said his name, but we know it's Giovanni. She says, and he goes, did you tell him about my mother? Yes, I told him, and he goes, okay, well, tell her that wait till he experiences her. And so she goes, Lois, she goes, Tracy hates, Tracy likes me sometimes. She don't like me. She don't like Olivia because we're from Bensonhurst. I'm sure she won't like Giovanni either, but we'll let him know what's going on. But see, Giovanni doesn't talk with any kind of accent, right? And he goes, but we'll make sure he's okay because the kid, he said something about the kid, or maybe Ned said something about the kid. And she goes, well, he's 21. Now, they made a point to say his age, 21, because from what I'm hearing, the actor in real life is only 19. So he's playing up, which is rare in soap life, right? And it's rare that they actually say ages, unless it's their 18th birthday. Because remember, Trina had a big 18th birthday party and yada, yada, yada. But really, when they turn 21, because in reality, Trina hasn't turned 21 yet, neither has Jocelyn. They should be turning 21 this year. Okay, now they've got Giovanni already 21. They've aged him up. That kind of, dealt with the debate we all had about who was he there for, what's going on. Okay, so they come in, Brooklyn and Chase, and they could see the look on their face, and they're like, wait, aren't you supposed to be on a plane right now? And Ned says, what's the matter? Because he sees the look, and then they tell her. And Lois is crying, and they're both very sad. They give their condolences. And Brooklyn says, where's Tracy? She goes, Tracy is, down to the stables. She's getting ready for a ride. Chase says, I need to go tell her. And so she goes, maybe she hasn't started her ride yet, Ned said, and I'll walk with you to the stables. So Ned and Chase head to the stables. Brooklyn and Lois, they have their cry together. And Lois is giving her pep talk on how to be there for Chase. So tomorrow we'll see Tracy finding out. That's going to be sad, everybody. And Alexis still hasn't found out. But Alexis and Diane are in the hearing, and Neil Burns' brother Ferguson is he's representing. Now, mind you, or he's the opposing. Now, mind you, during the initial hearing a few years ago, remember, he recused himself because he didn't want people to know the tie, and he had a buddy do whatever they did, right? But now it's him. And Diane gives her opening statement and comments, and he gives his opening statement as despairing about how Alexis doesn't deserve to be back on the bar representing anybody. She is a liar, and something else he said. And Alexis stands up and she says, when she goes, I'll be representing myself. And Diane sits down. She says, I have a right to do this in front of my accuser. Mr. Ferguson, I don't have a problem with him having a front row seat to this hearing. And Alexis is looking like, and I thought, she's got her fighting gloves on, and Diane sitting back like, yeah, okay. You got this, girlfriend. You got this. Diane is there to help her if she need her. So it's going to be interesting, but ultimately we already know Alexis is going to get her license back because look, without Gregory there at the Invader with her, there's no reason for her to be in the Invader. There isn't. So she will definitely get her license back. What was interesting, we still have Michael goes to see Dex at the park, and he's asking him not to press charges, not to protect Sonny, but for Kristina. She's pregnant. She's under a lot of stress. I mean, to me, they're making pregnant women like can't handle nothing. In all of these stressful situations, Kristina has she's put herself in there, right? She really has. So, okay, yeah, this would be stressful if she got to testify against her father, but still, you know? And so Dex says, you hired me to get evidence on him. Now, look, what he's done, we can accomplish what we wanted to do. And he goes, yes, but at what cost? And so he said, Jocelyn, what do you think? She goes, you know what? I'm tired of telling people what to do. This is your decision. She sits down and Dex looks like, since when? Right? And I looked at her like, since when? So after Michael made his case about Kristina, Dex is doing his Dex thing. Jocelyn finally does stand up. She goes, Dex, look, you know how I feel about Sonny. And he does deserve to face the consequences for what he has done to you. He deserves it. She says, but on the other hand, Kristina is pregnant. She is in a fragile state. And I'm thinking, how many times she's been hospitalized during this pregnancy? How fragile is she? Right? And so she goes, and if Kristina has to testify, it's going to be hard on her and the baby. So what I'm saying is, don't press charges against Sonny. I never thought Jocelyn would ever say that in her life. And Dex looked at her and he goes, well, I guess now you don't mind saying what you think, giving advice, right? Just a minute ago, you said, no, that's on you. So ultimately, let's face it, Dex ain't going to press charges. But when Anna hears, Anna is a different story. Dex is going to have to say, look, I fell into a doorknob. That ain't going to work, right? So Kristina calls Dex, believe it or not. She makes a phone call and says, can you come over? I'm in blah, 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 the Metro Court. Blaze answers the door. It's Dex. And Dex is like, I suppose you're calling me here to tell me not to press charges against your father. She goes, I did ask Michael to come and talk to you, pretty much. She goes, no, I do not condone what my father did to you, but he is my father and I do love him. She said, but with that being said, my father, she told Dex, you deserve justice. And if reporting this incident gets you the justice that you deserve, I support you 100%. And I was shocked. She says, I will even testify as to what I saw, because you matter. And I thought, finally, Kristina, somebody who was battered by her ex-boyfriend, Dex matters, right? So I really think by Kristina saying what she said, I really think Dex is not going to press charges against Sonny. I really don't. But we shall see. Anna just might do it for him because he is on the payroll with them. So she has every right. She's the commissioner. He works for her. So that's it, everybody. That's it. Tomorrow's going to be sad too, because Tracy's going to find out. And and they're doing flashbacks, which Tracy's probably going to have a lot of flashbacks. Violet had a flashback with her and her grandpa. Oh, a very young Violet when she first came on the show. Cute little girl, little teeth. Anyway, Finn had a flashback in his mind, hearing his voice, and we're going to see a lot of that. So, all right, everybody, that's it. I'll be back tomorrow for another daily recap of General Hospital. Excuse me, y'all. Now let's go to comment corner. Comment corner. All right, I'm starting from the bottom, going up. Jackie says, they ought to be ashamed. Having him die before Brooklyn and Chase went on their honeymoon. Such bad writing. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Let me make sure. Yeah, recording. If you didn't see my recording, everybody. Okay, then when Gwendolyn says, today was the saddest. I cried and cried. Gregory is dead. Claire says, this was a very sad episode. I just cried. GH needs new writers. This was just horrible. I was really hoping Tracy and Gregory would just go away and enjoy life with each other for a little while. I'm lost for words. Well, see, now you know how I felt. I couldn't even deal with Comment Corner. Anthony says, Gregory, RIP. Sonny needs to go. And then P. Merle says, isn't it funny how Sonny's traders are the only ones trying to save him? And he and his so-called allies have lost their faith or betrayed him. Ava, Sonny is on such a downward spiral. How will he ever recover? It's a little thing called prescription medication. That's how. Gregory's demise was heartbreaking enough, and now they're going to destroy Finn as well. What are these writers thinking? And Wendy says, agreed. Sonny is on his way to a straight jacket or jail. And he still doesn't think he needs medical attention. Well, they really never do. I was hoping Finn poured the alcohol down the drain, but no, now these writers want to ruin Finn and Violet. They're going to lose their audience. You know what? I didn't like the fact that they're doing this to Finn. But, people grieve in different ways. But I don't know. This is going to be really bad for little Violet. And I don't see why they felt they had to write this whole Finn drinking thing. The whole he drank by accident and all that. I mean, come on now, right? They did not need to do that. Linda says, I heard they fired the head writer. Yes, they did. The one they hired in January. Anita says, in my opinion, this was a horrible script from the writers. The writers should have waited until July sweeps. I guess the writers do not understand that the fans do not always need reality. Sometimes we just need some happy or unrealistic outcomes, such as a misdiagnosis for a character. Exactly. Such as Gregory. I'm so disappointed. I was hoping to see Tracy's softer side continue and Alexis continue to have a male best friend other than Finn, a former lover and AA confidant. Lucy says, hello, recap lady. So sad about Gregory. He passed on in his sleep. No more pain. Thankfully, he fulfilled everything on his bucket list. And then Sandy says, this was awful. With no warning, they took Gregory from us. I'm heartbroken and pissed at the same time. User OK says, I was sad to see Gregory go. I thought the writers might write a misdiagnosis illness. I was hoping that, user. The writers get rid of the characters that add to the story canvas. Mike, Brando, Nell, well, Nell was a villain. Victor was yet another villain. They both had to go because they were going to kill somebody. Taggart, what contribution did Taggart ever have? Taggart who? Miss Wu, okay, I like Selena. Brad, yeah, I could deal with Brad. Lulu, I thought Lulu'd come out the coma by now. Julian Jerome, where else could Julian go? He blew up Jake's, not Jake's, what was it called? Floating rib with people in it. There's just no way Julian could have continued. Now, Britt, I did not want Britt's character to go. Really, I did not. With all these characters were intriguing to General Hospital, very frustrating. User NU says, oh, pretty lady in the hat, what is going on? I don't know. Crystal says, Gregory Harrison has you mean Gregory Chase. The last name is Chase. Just like we call Chase, but Chase's first name is Harrison. He's Harrison Chase, and Gregory is Gregory Chase. Has a reoccurring role on 911. He is the father of a brother and sister who are important characters on the show. It's possible he wanted to leave GH, but I'm still sad he's gone. I liked him with Tracy. I did not know he was on a primetime show. Good for you. Because guess what? He makes more money on primetime. So, okay. I can see that. All right. Dacia says, they say Michael Easton was exiting also. I don't know why, because he played so many characters. Yeah, 3 of them on General Hospital. As a matter of fact, look, I had to look up his name. I said, who is Michael Easton? The actor that plays Finn. Why didn't you say Finn? It was sadly, Gregory died. Okay, skipped a few words. Why would they let Gregory die in his sleep or while he was sleeping? Well, you know what? Painless. DL says, when I saw a 7-minute long video for your recap, I'm like, Auntie GH Recaps is upset. You're right, DL. I just couldn't I just could not. Oh my goodness. Anyway, Lisa says, I sat with my dad for the last days, struggling to breathe. This was I was so upset. I couldn't cry for a long time. I think it's harder to pass than they showed on TV. Well, for one thing, it is TV. And a lot of the times, and I don't know, but I do have friends and know people that have unfortunately had loved ones that die in their sleep. They're found the next day. You don't know if they're sleeping and just dreaming and stop, so unfortunately, it's sad. It's very sad, but TV is not going to show too much, especially a soap opera. Lisa says, I hate that Chase and Brooklyn will have this memory on their wedding anniversary. Yeah, they will, but at least they made his date will be the next day. So his date of death is the day after Chase and Brooklyn's wedding. So that's at least a saving grace. And then Lisa says, excuse me, Sonny should not ask Dante to deliver a message to Dex for Sonny. No, it's for Kristina. Asking him to get Kristina to lie. Sonny has pushed everyone away, only Ava to support him. As she turns the knife in his back. P. Merle says, well, he's in more than a little trouble if he has to depend on that witch. That's so true, right? And then Donkey says, I agree with you 100%. Hate that they had him die, especially on Chase's wedding day, technically the day after. Emma says, wow, but you know what? Is there a comment up here? Emma says, wow. And then Emma says, I'll be good. Wait, it'll be good if they put in there that he came back alive and they thought he was doing good for good, but he came back. Wait, what? They thought he was going good for good, but then he came back. I don't get that. No, he's dead. The paramedics took him away, or the coroner, really should have been the coroner. I am says there isn't a cure for ALS. Finn will now be quitting. Will now use his guilt to drink. He didn't hear the words his dad said when he apologized. I know. No, there's no cure for ALS, but Lyme's disease has the same symptoms. I was hoping they were going to figure that out and say it was Lyme's disease and we could have actually swallowed that pill. Lisa says if they can't have Gregory Chase on, at least let Gregory Harrison come back as a twin doppelganger. Gregory Harrison. Harrison is Chase's name. Their last name is Gregory Chase, Gregory Harrison. I don't get that one, Lisa. But no, you know what? I'm good for a twin brother. Let him be a lawyer. But Gregory would have mentioned it. Look, had he been a doctor, I'm sure Jackie would have slept with him. You know. So anyway, all right, everybody. That's 10 minutes of comment corner. I will be back tomorrow with another daily recap of General Hospital.